Hello and welcome to Thursday's edition of Cracking the Cryptic. Oh, sounds like my voice is going. I hope that doesn't happen. This will be a very bad video. Well, anyway, what are we doing today? We're going to be having a look at a puzzle that's been recommended to us several times. And this is a puzzle which apparently is very approachable. So we often get asked, well, there's two themes to questions we get asked. One theme is, can you do even harder puzzles that take even longer for you to solve? And well, we could try, but we think we should strive for a balance. So occasionally we will do monstrously hard puzzles. If you want to see the most monstrous puzzle, certainly that I can remember as I sit here now, my solve of Tiger by Icy Fruit, which took me 3.5 hours, would be in that set of the Venn diagram. Now the other request we get is, please can you do easier puzzles sometimes, because I think people want to have a go at the puzzles but they're daunted by the video length, or they just like to be able to finish a Cracking the Cryptic puzzle. And this puzzle today, apparently it is very approachable, while at the same time, and this is crucial from our perspective at least, it is still a world-class puzzle. It is still a beautiful puzzle with beautiful logic, but it's just logic that might be slightly easier to find than in some of the behemoths that we do battle with. Now, what's the puzzle called? It's called X, Y, and Z, question mark, and it's by Fenners, which takes me back to my university days. But anyway, yeah, and you can see there are some question marks in the grid, and all of the cages are either adding up to Y, Z, or where's an X? An X is there. So yeah, this is what we're going to have a go at. And if you've never managed to finish a Cracking the Cryptic puzzle before, this is one where you should try, give it a few minutes, see how you get on, and you may surprise yourselves and embark on a journey into a weird and wonderful world. Anyway, I'll read the rules of this in a moment or two's time. I don't have much news for you today, so just an appeal. If you do enjoy the channel, please consider subscribing. Please consider supporting us on Patreon if you really enjoy what we do. That is what allows us to keep the channel going, and that's where we put lots and lots of extra content. So there's Sudoku hunts, competitions, extra long solves, and Mark's connection videos, an extra crossword video or two every month as well. So anyway, that's over there. Do check it out. It's a couple of bucks a month. But this video is not about that. This video is about trying to solve X, Y, and Z, or solve for X, Y, and Z, should that be, by Fenners. Let me read you the rules. They are as follows. Normal 9x9 Sudoku rules apply. So that means we've got to put the digits 1 to 9 once each in every row, every column, and every 3x3 box. We're about to get a visit from Maverick, which means that the control tower that is my attic is going to get buzzed past by a low-flying aeroplane. There's nothing I can do about it, I'm afraid. I apologise if there is any aeroplane noise. Then killer cages, digits in cages with the same letter summed to the same value. These values are to be determined by the solver. So, okay, so there's a Z cage, a Z cage, a Z cage. Right, so there's 4 Z cages. So basically, let's pick a different colour. All of those cages sum to the same value, and the same is going to be true of the Y cages and the X cages. Crop key dots, digits separated by a white dot, are consecutive. Oh, okay, so I might be able to do that one, but that means this is a 2, so this digit is either a 1 or it's a 3 in order to be consecutive with 2. And are these Rembrandts? Yes. So the purple lines, digits on a purple line, form a set of non-repeating consecutive digits in any order. So, well, imagine this cell here was a 9. Then you'd know exactly what digits had to be part of that question mark, because once it's got the digit 9 on it, in order to form a consecutive set, it would have to have 9, 8. Actually, is 9 too high? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Oh, bobbins, it's too high. Sorry. Okay, I'm going to shift my 9 to there. because now I think we can 8, 7, 6, 5, 4. We could form a consecutive sequence with the digit 3 on the sort of bottom of the question mark. And the digits can be in any order. So if this was a 9 and we had to put 8, 7, 6, 5, 4 onto the line, they can be in any order you like. You just have to make sure overall they're a non-repeating consecutive set. And they are all the rules. Do have a go. The way to play is to click the link under the video as usual. But now I get to play. Let's get cracking. And I must start here, mustn't I? As we were reading the rules, I saw this. We've got a 1 here, so that squares there's got to be a 2 in order to be consecutive with 1. It is the only option. So this is a 1 or a 3. And this is a 4 because it can't be 2 anymore because of the 2 in row 9 already. So far we've at least done something. The next thing I'm seeing actually is those squares. Oops. Now they sort of go in the opposite order. They are a sequence. Because if all of these add up to x, let's say x was 10 just for the sake of exposition, then you can see this would be a 7, this would be an 8, and this would be a 9. So these are 3 increasing digits from this point. And actually, right, they're not going to be 7, 8, 9, because that's going to put too much pressure on this question mark. Yeah, this is what we were looking at again during the introduction. When I put 9 onto this line, we worked out it couldn't work because I think that these question marks are only of length 7. So if this went 7, 8, 9, that would imply we could put all 9 digits on this question mark as a sequential or consecutive set, and we know it's only of length 7, so that's definitely impossible. In fact, the highest 7, 6, 5. Yeah, oh, that's lovely. I can do the start. Right, so the highest possible value of this digit is 7, isn't it? If it was higher than 7, we couldn't fit, or we couldn't make the question mark only contain consecutive digits. So this is a maximum of 7. But if it's lower than 7, aren't we going to have a problem here? If this is 6, say, 5, 4, it clashes. 5, 4, 3 clashes. 5, 4, 3, yeah. Actually, I should just check there's no 4. Oh, I don't believe it. I don't believe it. 4, 3, 2 works as well. I'm lucky. I'm lucky I checked that because I very nearly didn't. I just assumed it was going to be 7, 6, 5. Okay, so I think there are 2 options. 7, 6, 5. And what was the other one? 4, was it 4, 3, 2? Okay. Right. I don't know what that means, I'm afraid. We're going to have to think harder, is what it basically means. Is it? Oh, I don't know. So how do we decide which is the correct order? If it was so extreme, 1, 7, which is I suppose what my brain feels it's likely to be, these squares would be 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Ah. Wow. Okay. Right. I haven't got this yet, but I've spotted something that's really interesting. Okay, this is very high class already. Let's just get rid of the yellows here, because I want to just highlight those digits, and I want to highlight these digits. Oh, that's a terrible choice of colour, I'm sorry. And right, so we'll do those. Now the question I want to ask is, where do each of these dominoes go sort of in the box above their question marks? So these digits, remember, they can't repeat on their own line, and they certainly can't repeat in their own column without breaking Sudoku rules. So these digits, these light green ones, are there. these blue ones must be there, and these green ones must be here. And therefore, do we learn anything from that? So there's definitely a 2 in there. There's definitely a 3 in there. There's definitely a 1 in here. And let's put the full options in. 1, 4, 7, 2, 3, 6, 2, 3. Yeah, there you go. There we go. This is what does it. So look, in this box, the blue cells definitely contain a 2. So in this box, you can't have a 2 in the green cells, which tells us that this green domino is 3, 5. And if this green domino is 3, 5, we know that's 6, that's 7. That is absolutely lovely. Okay, so that is a very... Oh, hang on. I've taken out the wrong digits here. My apologies. This should be a 2. Okay, and then we can get rid of the corner pencil marks, can't we? Because we've sort of established what's going on. Now, what does that mean? I don't know yet. But no doubt something of... Well, yeah, okay. So now what we should ask... This is the most constrained, I think, this lime green one, because we know it's got such extreme digits, 1, 7. We know these squares are 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, which means we know those squares are 8 and 9. And in fact, that's a naked single, I think, because I mean, if I just do the full pencil marks, you'll see what I mean. These squares are 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 to make the question mark work, but this square sees 2, 6, 3, and 5, so I think that has to be 4. Now that means those two squares are 8 and 9, and that's got to be important. 8 and 9 in the row, but look at this, this blue question mark. If this had 9 on it, again, it would need to have one more. The question mark would need to be 1 cell longer. It would need to be 8 cells long, wouldn't it, to fill all the digits between 2 and 9 inclusive. So this is 8. This is 9. And again, well, that's going to allow us to write 1 and 9 into these squares as the digits that are not on the question mark in box 5, which makes this square a 3. And these squares are going to be 1 and 2, because they're going to be, the question mark's going to contain all the digits between 3 and 9 inclusive. So now I'm going to get Y, because look at this column, 6, 7, and 8. So Y is 21 wherever it occurs. One of the places is there. Let's have a look at that. So we know Y is 21. Minus 7 is 14. So these are either a 5-9 pair, which would be that way round, or a 6-8 pair, which would be that way round, because of this 5 and this 6. We may be able to do better than that. I don't know. But we can do more maths here, can't we? Because I'm going to be able to work out these digits at the top of the column. Right, 4, 5, and 7, I think, is what we're left with at the top here. But this is in a Y cage, which, so we know all of those add up to 21. At the moment, we've got 16. So these are a 2-3 pair. And the reason I know they're a 2-3 pair is they can't be a 1-4 pair without repeating the 4. So that's 2, 3, this is 6, this is 2. There's a 3 on this on this wing of this the question mark. There's probably more. What's that? Oh, that's going to be 1, 2, 3, or 4. It's got to be consecutive with this digit. Yeah, but now we can use maths to get this digit, can't we? What do we need in this column? 3, 5, 6. So if that's 3, 5, and 6, 3, 5, and 6 add up to 14. This should be a 7 to get us up to 21, which we know is the value for Y. So we get a couple more digits there. 1, can we put 1 on that? It would have to go with 2. Maybe. I'm not sure, but there is a 1 over there somewhere. Right, so we might have to think, or we might have to get the value of Z now. So where are Z cages? One of them is here, so Z is at least 10. One of them is here. One of them is R. So this digit's interesting, isn't it? Isn't this under a bit of pressure? Because, well, if this digit was only 5, this wouldn't add up to 10. Because that would be a 3 and it can't be double 5. So this digit is at least a 6. Which is actually, that's less valuable than I thought it was. And the maximum is 13 now. Which, so that's, well, that takes 6 out of this one. Because if this is 6, this is adding up to 14. Which I don't think we can get to over here. So we're looking at least 10 into there. Is it the secret? Is that what? Oh, maybe, maybe not though. Not actually sure. We may have to think a bit harder about this. It was going quite well for a moment, and now I'm struggling to see where the obvious next place to look is. But I am well aware that could be me being slow. Ah. Nearly. What I was wondering then, I was looking at this domino and thinking about the fact, now here is a fatuous secret. And it's that, well, obviously a 2-cell Rembrandt line contains a consecutive pair of digits. Now those digits are going to include an even number and an odd number. Sorry, I know it was obvious. But if we think about that is a bit interesting. Because the only odd numbers available, given 3, 5 and 7 have been hypothecated to the Y cage, are 1 and 9. And 1 would go with 2 and 9 would go with 8. So the options for this cage are really restricted. Now, can we do anything with that? So if this is 1, this is an 8, 9 pair. I will put 8 and 9 down there. No, I'm not sure. Maybe that's not the way to think about it then. Okay, so let's instead... Well, we might have to think about this box. Now, there is a secret of Sudoku. It's something I share with only my very favourite people. But if you're watching this video, you are certainly one of my favourite people. And the secret of Sudoku is that a box of Sudoku, like this, or even a row, or indeed a complete column, because of the rules of Sudoku, will contain the digits 1 to 9 once each. Now, the digits 1 to 9 add up to 45. So can we do something mathematical here? Because we know this Y cage adds up to 21. So we know that these squares add up to 24. And we know, so those add up to 24. But Z is at least 10. And a maximum of 13. So these add up to at least 11. Or maybe, actually, maybe it's Sudoku. Maybe I should just stick to the knitting and do some Sudoku if that's possible. No, that doesn't seem to do it, does it? Oh, well, so what's going on here? How do we... There is a 6 up there, I can see that. So if the 6 was in this cage... Well, I still don't think it would be obvious what's going on. If this is 2... Have I used... Oh, sorry. Look, there's a Z cage here. That adds up to 10. Well, that would have been easier if I'd seen that. So this can't be 5. Oh, that's lovely. Because obviously if it's 5, that's 5 beneath it. So that's 7. So this is 5. these have to add up to 10, so they have to be 2 and 8. That's 9, therefore. 2 comes out of all these squares. Oh, that takes 1 and 2 out of there, so that becomes 1, 8, 9. That makes this square a 1. Okay, we should be hopefully home and hosed now. Remember what we said about a consecutive sequence of digits having to contain an odd and an even number? Well, the only odd number that can be in that sequence there is 3. So that takes 3 out of this square. This adds up to 10, so these squares add up to 14, wasn't it? Because we know orange overall is 24, and they can't be 5, 9, so they are 6, 8, and we know the order, which gets us a 5 down here and a 9, because those had to add to 14. Now we can work out what these digits are. 1 and 9. Okay, 1 and 9 there. Which means 9 in the bottom row has only got one, or sorry, not the bottom row, but the bottom row of these 3 rows. Row 3 has to go here. This is a 1, 9 pair, and we know the order. That puts 1 in the corner. That puts 1 up here by Sudoku. 7 is in this position in box 9. We've not used 2, 6, and 8, so we can write 6 there. This is a 2, 8 pair. This row needs 6, 7, and 8. We can write the 7 in, actually. It's got to go there. So these are a 6, 8 pair. And I think we're in a position where it feels like we're sort of just tidying up now, doesn't it? This is 3 and 5. So this is 7 and something, 4, I want to say. What about column? Well, no, let's do... Oh, we can do the 2 and the 1 over here. Let's do that first. That's low-hanging fruit. And in this box, we need 4, 6, 8. So we can write the 8 in. We can write the 6 in. We can write the 4 in. We can write the 8. We can write the 2. That's not 2 anymore. So 1, 3, and 4 into this column. And 5 and 2 over in this corner. Okay, so Sudoku seems to be working, which is always a relief. That 6 is doing some nice work. That seems to have to be 8. Now, if we look along this row, where's the 2 going? It seems to only have one possible home. So that's 2, that's 3. This is now 3, that's 3. This should be done, this row. The 6 is helpful, yeah. 5, 6, 4. These are a 2, 4 pair. Ah! I clicked spacebar too many times and lost my army. That's a 6, that's a 7, that's a 7, that's a 5, that's a 5, that's a 2, 2, 4, 4, 1, 1, 9, 9, 8. Lovely. Now, is there some relative... Yeah, we can do 8 and 6 at the bottom. We need 3, 4, and 5 into these squares. So let's put that in and see what we can get rid of. And here, we need 3, 5, 6, 9. We must be able to do the 9, mustn't we? And look, 3 and 6 are looking at that square, making that 5. So 5, 4, 3, 4, 8, 5, 5, 3, 6, 7, 4, 3. Beautiful. That was exactly what I was sort of led to believe it was. But it was better than I thought it could be. Because actually I really nearly made a mistake. I was so sure this was going to be 5, 6, 7 that I almost didn't check. Because in my brain I was sort of thinking about the digits here and I just didn't think there was another option, but there was. And you needed to use this row to eliminate the other option. It's a beautiful puzzle. It's correct. Okay, well that's great. And Fenners, take a bow. I think this is a debut for you on the channel. And that was a lovely debut that I think is going to get an awful lot of plaudits, and it deserves them. Well done, you. And let me know in the comments how you got on with the puzzle. I enjoy the comments, especially when they're kind. And we'll be back later with another edition of Cracking the Cryptic.